fans, and welcome back to the Wall of NFL channel. In this video today, I'm going to be talking about running backs, and running backs in fantasy especially. I'm going to be talking about which ones I think are going to be the best to draft this August when everyone's fantasy drafts are kicking off. Running backs are by far the most important position in fantasy, and in pretty much every league, each team will need to have at least 2 starting running backs in their starting 11. So they're going to go quite high and quite often in your draft. So make sure you pick one up early on in the first or second round. I think there are only about 8 to 10 elite running backs, so I'm going to give my top 10 running backs as which ones you should be on your highest priority when you draft later in August or later in July as well. So my pick at number 10 was quite a difficult decision, as there's a lot of running backs that are quite decent but with a few question marks. That I think at the top of that list, and just making it into my top 10, is David Montgomery. He had a really great stretch of games towards the end of the 2020 season, and I think that's really going to help him push on and really give the Chicago Bears a bit more success with their running game. Now that they've got a new quarterback as well, I think that's really going to help David Montgomery and open up some lanes for him to run through and give him a lot more passing yards, receiving yards as well. And I think it could be a really good thing for him, as he is quite a dual threat running back as well. I think he'll be able to catch a lot of balls and run for a few yards as well, and he'll really help the Bears offense. And there's not really a lot of competition with the Chicago Bears at running back, so I think that he'll get a lot of touches as well. So that's why I've got him at number 10. Saquon Barkley at number 9 definitely has the potential to be a lot higher up on this list. He could be 1 to 3 running backs on this list, but I've got him all the way down at 9 due to his injury troubles and, quite frankly, his unreliability when it comes to getting points every week. I think last season, coming off that big injury, and he himself has said he's taking it week by week at the moment, it doesn't fill me with a lot of hope, and I'm not too sure that he'll be a very reliable pick this season. So I think I'm personally going to avoid him, but he's definitely could be a real boom player if you pick him this season and can get you 20 points a week. I have Nick Chubb at number 8 because whilst he is an incredible runner and can hit on all cylinders week in, week out, and he has incredible offensive line that opens up great lanes for him to run into, and there is opportunities for him to get 20 points every week. However, I have him at number 8 because he has to share his snaps with Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt, also a fantastic running back, which is why he gets lots of touches as well. But the fact is, Nick Chubb won't get all of the touches at the Cleveland Browns. So considering that, I don't think I can put him much higher than 8, because all the other running backs on this list are one team. They're the only guy on that team. So it means that they're going to get more touches for that team. Since Melvin Gordon left for the Broncos, Austin Ekeler has really shone for the Chargers. And now that he has a brand new offensive lineman and Justin Herbert at quarterback as well, I really think it's going to be able to help him shine, as he's going to have be able to show his receiving abilities more, and he's going to have more running lanes to run into now that the offensive line is getting better as well. So I think he's going to be a fantastic decision. Also because he's the Chargers' number 1 running back, and by a long way as well. So he's going to get plenty of touches, and he's a dual threat running back as well. So he could get tons and tons of points for you. Ezekiel Elliott kind of struggled last year without Dak Prescott at quarterback, and wasn't quite as good as Cowboy fans and the management would have hoped. I think with Mike McCarthy at head coach, it doesn't quite lend to the running game, and he leans more towards the passing game. So I think that's going to help Dak Prescott to shine, but maybe not so much Ezekiel Elliott. He definitely has the potential and definitely has the raw talent to be higher on this list, but I don't think he is going to be getting as many points as he did back in 2019 and 2018. So that's why I've got him at number 6 on my list. Last season, Aaron Jones had a fantastic season, and I've got him at number 5 on my list because I think he could be just as good this year as well. I think as well, with Aaron Rodgers looking like he might not play this year, that means Aaron Jones is going to get a lot of touches. And especially if Jordan Love is the quarterback, I think they'll lean heavily on the running game to try and ease him into playing in the NFL. I do think though that Aaron Jones, he has had his big contract, so maybe that will mean that he loses a bit of motivation, but nonetheless, I do think Aaron Jones is going to be a fantastic choice this year, and he's going to go in the first round, I believe. Alvin Kamara is definitely one of the best dual threat running backs out there, and that's why I've got him down at number 4. He's fantastic at running the ball, just like all the other running backs on this list, but he's really good at catching it as well. Last season, he got almost 700 yards receiving, and a lot better than a lot of wide receivers out there as well. He really shows his abilities when a linebacker covers him, and he's fantastic at catching the ball and getting away from the linebackers. And then when a cornerback covers him, he's fantastic at running straight past them and making them miss in their tackles as well. So he's really hard to cover. And now with Drew Brees as well retiring, the running game really could thrive with Alvin Kamara at the helm. So I think he's going to be a fantastic choice for you at running back, and I definitely think he's going in the first round of most drafts. Last season, Dalvin Cook showed that he is a fantastic running back. He's a really hard runner, and he rushed for over 1,500 yards and 16 touchdowns last season, which is just fantastic. Only beaten out in terms of yards by Derrick Henry, who got to over 2,000. So Dalvin Cook, really formidable runner, and the Vikings really put the team on his shoulders, and he carries them often to victories, while Kirk Cousins is more of a game manager at quarterback. So it really helps Dalvin Cook open up the game a little bit more, and he gets a lot of touches, and that is for certain. And he will do as well for the foreseeable future. I have him down at number 3 though, because in terms of receiving, he's not that great. Last season, he only got about 300 yards receiving, which, I mean, for a running back is pretty good, but for the amount of times he touched the ball, you definitely expect him to be a better catcher of the football. So I have him at 3rd because he's guaranteed to get you lots of points because the offense is focused around him, but he does miss the element of catching the ball out of his game. So good luck drafting him, and I know you'll do well with Dalvin Cook. I have Christian McCaffrey all the way up at number 2, despite his injury troubles last season, because if he is on the field, he can get you a ton of points. When he wasn't injured in 2019, he got over 1,500 yards rushing and over 1,000 yards receiving as well, which is very difficult, and not a lot of running backs do that. So if he is on the field, he's going to get you a ton of points, and that's why I've got him at number 2. So of course at number 1 on this list, it has to be Derrick Henry. Last season he had an amazing year and he rushed for over 2,000 yards with 17 touchdowns as well. He had a fantastic year, and not only that, but he did it all at the end of the season as well. He has a slow start, but at the end of the season he was going crazy, rushing for over 150 yards a game, which is just mind-boggling. I think that if he's able to do that again this season, he's going to win people championships again this year. Last season, because he was doing it at the end of the year as well, he was so clutch and he was getting people championship wins and playoff wins. And if he's able to do that again this year, he's definitely should be going number 1 overall in any draft. I know a lot of people think that he might not be quite as good as he was last year, so there might be a bit of a drop off. But I certainly think that he is going to be the number 1 pick and the best player in fantasy again this year. So thank you guys so much for watching this video, and be sure to draft those running backs in the top 2 rounds of your fantasy draft. Please also check out the website wallofnfl.com and all the social media pages in the description down below. Please do comment if you want to see any particular videos or my opinion on any particular topics around the NFL. And yeah, just thank you so much for watching, and do like and subscribe as well.